Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Gemini. The sun is in Aries, and Aries is the mind, is the empirical thinking that we use now through the sun that is giving the light to the moon. And when we look at the moon, we see the constellation Gemini behind it. And so here comes a fire sign and an air sign. And we go to the left because going to the left is now going to your new moon, which you have in your own month. And to the right is going out to the full moon, which is your opposite sign, is arriving at an energy that is so opposite of you that you are needing to unite it to be really happy. Because uniting masculine and feminine, it's kind of like, how can this be united? But when it is, it's the magic, right? It's like magic. And so here the number 4, the stability, and the number 6, the hexagram, and the understanding that there are 2 triangles interlacing is now giving us a deeper understanding of how important numbers are, right? And I'm working a lot with numbers. So this is the moment where the moon is in your sign, and I really do the reading on the day the moon is in your sign. And again, I recognize that the information comes through the subconscious to me. And this moment exists only once a year for 2 days. And if we include all the other planets, then we recognize that this moment really exists only once in our life. Now, Mars is ruling the Emperor, Aries, the sun that is giving the light now to the moon in your sign, right? And so it's affecting you. And Aries in your deck is this kind of personality. He knows how to play chess, right? And he sits here on Mars like a chair. And he's really like, that's it. That's me. You are ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is information. Mercury is really bringing you also the language, right? The signs that come. And see also that Mercury is connected with Virgo and also with the Magician. So that's a very beautiful combination, right? And so the yoga position for Aries is meditation, because his body part is the brain. And so through meditation, we have access to the brain. And your body part are the arms and the shoulders. And here in King Pigeon, you're reaching back into the subconscious, into your feet, to your new moon, and that's when your heart opens and you are recognizing that this is all about self-love, and not just loving someone else. It's loving yourself so much that it's like, when then someone is coming into your life, it's like a blessing. It's like, yeah, I love myself. Do you love me the same? So this just right now, Sun and Moon, Aries and Gemini coming together. Your court card is the Knight of Swords. Here in this deck, the Light Seer Tarot. I have listed all the decks that I'm using and their position and what the position means right down below in my description. He's running towards the motorcycle, and you see the bird flying above him. Is your birthday between May 10 and June 9th, then this is your court card. If not, you might be the court card before or the court card after. Before, it's the King of Pentacles. The card after is the Queen of Cups. So please look in the description below. I have listed there the dates. You're the 3rd house of communication, just remember that. So the number 3 is connected with you. The 3 fits twice into the 6. So this is a triangle, and this is a triangle, and when you look very close, you see the hexagram in between them as the third eye here. Very beautiful. You are, as Gemini, the communication. Just in general, Gemini loves to talk. And so that's the importance, right? To understand, like, why do I love to talk? Yeah, it's because you are an air sign and you're a knight, and the knights are action-oriented people. Now, Mars is also ruling the tower. And so this month we're looking into the tower, and you see that whatever is that crisis or that destruction that is coming towards us, it's made with love. And we're going to look at that in a second. Before that, I want to see to the last reading, because everything is cyclical, right? So my readings are cyclical. And then the next reading is kind of based on the previous one. And I always like to see if there is a card coming up that I used for the front picture, right? And so the message was from Pisces Sun to Gemini Moon. The wheel of fortune is turning, and you'll know how to play with it. So it's very interesting. You had the Ten of Swords, and the Magician, and the Corn, and the Wheel of Fortune. So very clear. You had 3 times the 10. And the Fool, the 0. And so we're going to look what fits to that reading. But now I'm going to pull one card for the tower. And it's the Animal Spirit Oracle. Because for me, when this happens, we need help. And animals are beautiful in the way they have acquired extra hearing or visions or other things that are helping us to understand what the tower is bringing to us. So we have the tiger. Look at you. So I think Aries is bringing some fire up in you, right? Because it's a fire sign, the triangle that's pointing up, and the moon here on his third eye. And we're gonna look into the tiger. What is the tiger saying? Intuitive, it's like taking a decision. Taking a decision to recognize how powerful you are in taking action. And yes, you can think about something, but you still need to do it. Thinking about it starts the process, but then you also need to act. Lunar force, ease in darkness, and feminine energy. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these bonds. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. Wow. When in balance, passionate, strong, and sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. And to bring into balance, Tratka, candle gazing. Yeah, that's the focus of the third eye. Learning how to harness the inner eye. And so the tower is the 16. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and you in there. So self-love is always appearing, and when we calculate it together, right, we get the 7. For me, the 7 is the emotional intelligence that I gain by realizing when something falls apart, I just appear even more clear in what I want and what I don't want, right? Any crisis for me is a sign that I might have gone off the road a little bit or gone into a direction where I need to learn something. And so recognize simply the power of his gaze, right? He's literally looking at you and he's like saying, well, what are you waiting for? Go for it, right? Because you're in the 16. And here we have something happening, a crisis, right? This is a crisis. Accidents and situations with the law, those are all moments where we recognize we're not in our own power. Now, of course, there is no number to the animal, but they're listed, right? So he is the animal number 10. And so, right, you had 3 times the 10. Recognize that this is a sign that maybe you learned something. Because the 10 is like a new cycle. The 10 is like, I understand something, right? I have understood something. And so there's a beautiful connection then with the 10 and the 7. When we calculate the 16 together, we get the 17, which is Aquarius, which is a star. And Aquarius is actually the house that Pluto is moving into, and Pluto is the mystic, is that side in us that wants to understand the secret of the universe. And here we have then calculated together the 8. The 8 is that strength that we get, that infinite empowerment that is coming and letting us know we are here to learn. So here comes the world on the position of the Fool. And the Fool is connected with Uranus, and Uranus is connected with Aquarius, right? And Aquarius, like I said, is then the 17 that appeared in this combination. And you have the world, and you have these 2 children, the masculine and the feminine, holding the world up, and that's what the world is made of. And so you recognize here the 21, the 20 is the last judgment, and the 1 is the magician. That you let yourself fall, you know, into the flower of life, into the world of all possibilities. This foolish idea, this moment where you recognize I'm learning here, and I'm learning foolishly, sometimes by making a lot of mistakes, and that's it, right? Sometimes we need to learn, and then of course the 3 is left. And the 3 is the Empress. The 3 is always that I am understanding the triangle of the new energy that wants to come into our lives, right? Because she gives birth to the new generation. Then on the position of the Magician comes the Fire, and this is really clear, connected with the Tiger. The Fire, right? Here the number 19, and the 19 is the Sun in the Tarot. But when we calculate the 19 together, we get a 10. So you have a 10-10 framing the 21 or then the 3. How powerful is that, right? You see right away, it's like, bam, I'm going to let you know that the 10 is still continuing from the last reading into now Aries, into your head, because Pisces was the feet. Pisces was the Hanged Man, was Neptune, right? Diving deep into our subconscious. And now it's like, I'm taking actions. I am powerful, right? I'm a tiger. And so I wanted to see what's coming with the Fire, and the 4 of Pentacles is coming with the Tiger, and that's Sun in Capricorn. And Sun in Capricorn is the understanding that our career and the climbing up the ladder, right, into this, I want to be good in what I'm doing. I want to be successful. I want to be on the top. That's what the goat does. It climbs up really high. So it's really interesting because you have a 10 here, right? And you have the 1, which is then an 11. And so the 11 is the inner teacher, the 11 is a portal, and so this could be the 11th of April or the 4th of November, right? You can turn it the way you think it fits for you, this date. And so here we see very clearly that we could also calculate the 19 plus the 1, you get the 20. Then this is your calling to now take action. The 20 and the 4 is the 24, and the 24 is you when we calculate together. The 6 is left here. So you see, you can make out a different story the way you calculate it together. And this is why I love numbers, right? Because they can tell a different story. So the 4 of Pentacles, Sun in Capricorn, it's almost like you want to climb the ladder. You have that power. You have that drive. You're like, yes, Mercury is bringing me the Magician, and the Magician brings you the fire and the 4 of Pentacles. And in all of that, you are realizing, yes, I am ready to take on the world. I'm taking action. Because here you're taking action to be stable, right? You're taking action to be like the emperor, being the king, right, of kings in all 4 elements. On the position of the High Priestess comes the 9 of Wands, which is Moon in Sagittarius. And so Moon in Sagittarius brings us always that we feel like we got a lot to do, right? With the fire, it feels like I need to take action. And you have here 19 and 9, right? And so the 9 and the 2 is an 11. You get another portal. The 11 is the inner teacher, the wisdom that you gain by understanding the duality, by understanding how these 2 children lift up the world. It's the duality. It's the masculine and the feminine. It's the yin and the yang. It's like, that's what it is, right? And she knows. She's the intuition. She acts, right? He is the inspiration. He's like, I'm going to do it, right? And she's like, well, I'm listening to my intuition. And I did not listen because I just acted. But now you coming to a completion in the 9. And you realize when you combine it, it's like, there we go. We have the 11. We have the inner teacher coming up. Then on the position of the Empress comes Taurus. And Taurus is that moment of the teachings of the 5 elements, the teachings of the 5 senses, the windows and doors to the outer, but also to the inner world. And he's the teacher that has the 3 people in here. And the 5 and the 3 is the 8. And the 8 again has come up here, right? That this crisis brings strength to us, a strength that we didn't know we had in us. And so use it, right? And the 8 is here to teach you, yes, you can listen to these messages. You can listen to what is coming here in the way you act, in the way you speak, in the way you behave and feel, right? And in the way you're making your money. Because the Empress is connected with Venus, and Venus is also ruling the Taurus energy. And so there is a Taurus, right, that maybe is giving you a little bit of a teaching at the same time. Then here on the position of Aries. Aries is bringing you the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is again here with the 9 of Wands, right? Which was Moon in Sagittarius. This is Sun in Aries. And so this is really Sun in Aries is letting you know, yes, I urge you to take action. Because the 4 and the 3 is the 7. The 7 is the emotional intelligence that we get when we accept the crisis. When we accept that it brings you this. And so here you understand very clearly, I am awakening to my own power, because he's looking down at the river and he's like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I have the duality behind me, and I know the 3 is creating like the Empress, and the Empress is here, and the 3 people are here, and there's 1, 2, 3 wands, right? But remember, you already had 9 wands, and now 3 more is 12. 12, the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is the Wheel of Fortune plus the High Priestess. And the High Priestess brought you this. So it's really clear. There is a clear information coming to you, because the 3 is left, right? Of all the ones, the 3 is left again. You can create, even if you have difficulty to see how to make it in a clever way, because the 3 is allow the universe to bring you what you want to create. That's the emotional intelligence, that the 4 and the 7 together creates the 7. That's the emotional intelligence in your crown chakra. That's enlightenment. And then on the position of the Knight of Swords, you comes the Ace of Pentacles. And that's really giving you the world in a coin, right? Because the world is Saturn based, and so the material world is like, if you take care of it, it will grow. You will always have, right? And so it's a very beautiful moment here, because you're the 3rd house. Plus 1 is 4. Then you can be like an emperor. Then you can play games, right? And that's what's coming through here. The 3 of Wands, Sun in Aries, right? So Aries is here. And Aries is also here through the money and through the way you now can achieve something by honoring the money on a very deep, deep level. And so the 4 is left here, right? And the 4 is also here, the 4 of Pentacles. And so then 4 and 1 more Pentacles are 5 Pentacles. And 5 Pentacles usually is the self-worth. What am I worth, right? Through Taurus. Taurus is connected with the King of Pentacles. Maybe you are more King of Pentacles, right? Look at the dates again. And so the money is important to understand how money functions, right? If we're like, whatever, then of course it cannot function, right? We need to be vigilant. We need to be clear in all 4 elements. And so here you are, right? Getting the clear message that you're getting new money coming. And now on the position of Gemini comes the 10 of Swords. And you had the 10 of Swords back then reversed. That was the Thelma and Louise card. And the 10 of Swords here in your own deck is letting you know that's Sun in Gemini. And Sun in Gemini is very interesting. It's kind of like, it's like a total destruction. It's like, I'm done, I'm finished. I don't know what to do else, right? But something is liberating with the 10. It's like there's a cycle gone through. But the 10 and the 6, again, you get the 16. And the 16 is the Tower, is a crisis moment. And this crisis moment is important because she's looking at the light. She has all the birds flying and she's standing there and she's almost like looking at the money and she's like, yeah, I think I understand the 1 and the 10 is the same. But here, of course, it's swords, and here is material, is earth, right? And so what you get here, 16, the 7, the emotional intelligence to not think certain things anymore, to not let yourself be controlled by your own thinking, to liberate yourself, to know that you have one bird, right? And this one bird is bringing you to liberty, to freedom. And I think this is why you got the 10 of Swords. And you had the 10 here when we calculate the 19 together. Use the fire to shift and change things around you, right? Then on the position of the moon, we get here the 4, this caterpillar. And there's an opportunity for you now to be seen through the 4 of Pentacles, through actually then the 4 that came up on your position, right? You, the 3rd house, and the 1 coin, the one and only coin. And so the 4 is letting you know there is really, after this 10, an opportunity for you to awaken. Because the 18 is the subconscious, the moon, you're diving into your dream world, right? You let yourself drop the black and the white wolf, the duality here again. The 18 plus the 4 is the 22, and the 22 is the Fool, and what came up on the Fool? The world. So there's an opportunity for you to see the world in a new way, in a new perspective, that the world can be pink, like this caterpillar, right? It's in your dream world. So see that the 22 is here, and that's then, of course, very clear. A portal that gives you the creativity to see how much you now can get inspired by creating whatever it is that you want to create. And the next step here is to see that I can also calculate the 18 into a 9, and the 9 and the 4 is the 13. That's the biggest transformation a caterpillar goes through, because after that he's a butterfly. And that's death, that's Scorpio, that's like really letting go, diving deep down into the subconscious to experience this. But I want to know what comes up here. And the Hierophant came up again, but to the left, facing the left, right? Here he is. We see what he has done wrong as a religion all over the world, right? He usually should be just a teacher that is inspiring and helping and giving people the love. But sometimes then we start controlling them and executing them. And so what's really interesting, right, when we have the 13, we have the 4 left. The 4 and the 5 is the 9. Then you're coming into a completion, because there's a 9 and then here's a 9. But if I do the 22, what's really interesting, you then get the 22 plus the 5, the 22nd of May. One date, right? And so you can figure this out for yourself, right? Which date fits for you. But I see a 9, a completion in the change of here the Hierophant, because when he's facing left, things are more on an intuitive level, not there anymore, right? Left is like, of course, mostly negative, but for me it's not negative. It's more your intuition is letting you know, I do not want this, right? I do not want this. Because maybe you are not the Knight of Swords. Maybe you are the King of Pentacles, right? And so here the message is clear and letting you know, let go of this kind of thinking. Let go of controlling others, because it's not working. And then on the position of the Sun, which is in Aries, right? But now this is just the Sun. As the Sun comes here, the pressure. Comes here the transformation, the number 26, and in the 26 we have the last judgment, the calling, and you again, which then makes an 8. And so here the 19, which you had here as the fire, on the Magician, the 19 calculated together, we get a 10. The 10 and the 8 is the 18. Is the subconscious, is bringing you this opportunity to transform, to shift and to change, and to see what it is that you want, because then the 10 and the 8 is the 18, and the 18 calculated together is the 9, and the 9 is the completion, which is always in the 19, the sun, which is always in the 19 here in the sun. The sun is the kind of completion of the wheel of fortune that everything is spinning, and she is transforming extroverted to the right. Meanwhile, we're going to the left, as you see, right? Now, what's really interesting, I wanted to see what is this pressure that you're going through, and you came up reverse. And it's funny because it looks like a smiley face, because when I turn it upright, then it doesn't look like a smiley face. It looks like a portal, a wall, right? And this wall is the Aries energy. One wall is Aries and the other wall is the Hierophant. And the portal is you, the couple, the black and the white, the 2 cups, the sun, but it was reversed. You are going through a pressure, you are going through a transformation. The 9 and the 6 is the 15, is Capricorn, is here sun in Capricorn, the 4 of coins, and the 15 is the devil, is the attachment to certain energies that we get attached to, but we need to liberate ourselves. And the 15 calculated together is the 6. You come up again, right? You are literally wanting to know how it feels to be a butterfly. You don't want to be a caterpillar anymore, right? And that's why you got the tiger. You want to liberate yourself, you want to free yourself, you want to show the world that you can go through any pressure, that you can bring the best out of you, that you're learning, and that in that pressure, in the good pressure, you becoming then a butterfly in the world out there, right? And it's all because you want that, right? Because you have the 10 of swords, and that's again always the sun in Gemini. That's when you have your new moon, sun and new moon in your sign, in not the next but the second next reading. And so there is a sign coming at you. You're going to go through some things, right, when you experience all of that. And it's coming here through the reading to you, because here you got basically 10 swords and you again the 16. So the crisis, the tower that is bringing you here, the tiger is saying, yes, you got to go through that. You got to learn who you really are and what you're made of, because then you get the 2 of wands on the position of the world. And the world is the 21. The 21 plus the 2 is the 23. The 23, the 5 is left. And you had 3 wands. And 9 wands is 14 wands. And 14 wands is temperance. Temperance is then also Sagittarius. Sagittarius is intense, is a fire sign, is like, I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna go through it. So you have 3 wands and 2 wands. And of course, when I calculate now the 9 wands and the 2 wands, I get 11 wands, right? Which is then the inner teacher is appearing, and you're gonna know exactly what to do. But remember, right? You have 14 wands, and 14 calculated together is the 5. And so the 5 is letting you know there is something with a Taurus, right? There is something with a Taurus that came, and you recognize that Taurus is talking. Taurus is like letting you know. You also have 5 pentacles, right, with the ace. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times already the 5, right? Your heart is understanding what's going on, and so the 5 is here. And so now you can see when I close the reading to make it a circle, he's appearing because you are ready to take on now this pressure, and through this pressure you becoming a caterpillar, right? You becoming a butterfly, not a caterpillar. The caterpillar is here, but you are recognizing now that the power lies deep within you and you are ready. You are, yes, I'm going for this, right? I need a certain pressure. I need that because you have 14 ones, and that's like, I need to take action. I have the fire, right? I know what I want. I know what I can do. I can see out to the human path, but I'm going deep within to see more and more the moon phases, how they affect me, and how I learn, right, to really be a clear powerhouse in this world, right? A powerhouse that can take on the world, a powerhouse that is literally bringing to the world the necessary pressure, right, that you need to create something. Whatever it is that you want to create, sometimes we need to be pushed. And it seems like the push is there, right? And the world needs that. The world wants that. And so here you are coming up, right? And see the tiger behind you helping you to see out into the world. And he is literally like, yeah, I have your back. Go for it. Do what you need to be doing because this is important and the world needs this. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get Taurus, Sun in Taurus, and Taurus is here twice, right? And this is why I use on each position a different deck, because I can recognize Taurus is really talking here to you. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.